All right, section 1.1. 22. Section 1.1. Which problem? Number 9. Number 9. So number 9, you have find the distance and the midpoint for the given point. So number 9, you got the point 1 and 2, and you got the point -3, -3, 5, positive 5. So first of all, the distance. You need to remember that the distance, it's always x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. That's the definition you need to remember, but if you don't remember this definition, you can always find this definition by remembering that basically if you have 2 points on a Cartesian system coordinate, okay, these 2 points will be defined by, let's call that y1, x1, and this one x2, y2 for the point number 1 and for the point number 2 and the point number 1. The distance between these 2 points, if you look at, you can see a right triangle right here, and you can see that this distance right here, it's in this case y1 minus y2, and this distance right there in this case is x1 minus x2. You might tell me, wait a minute, you told me x2 minus x1, but then you are telling me x1 minus x2 because I named this point 1 and this point number 1 and then this point number 2. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change, it doesn't matter because you have a square inside your formula. Then you just need to substitute the value inside your formula. And when you substitute the value inside your formula, you get the square root. And then x, so let's call that the point number 1 and let's call that the point number 2. You end up to have 5 minus 2. Oops, I started by, sorry. You're going to have -3 in between parentheses. I like to use, every time I'm dealing with a negative number, I'm using a parenthesis. Minus 1 square plus y2 is 5 minus 2 square. So the distance is going to be the square root of -3 minus 1 is -4, square is 16, plus -5 minus 2 is 3, square is going to be +9. You end up to have d equal the square root of 25, which is 5. Now if I look at the midpoint, well, the midpoint is a point with a coordinate, and you need to remember x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and x1 and y1, sorry, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So then you just need to say, okay, but my midpoint is going to be x1, wait a minute. So x1 is 1, minus plus -3. I like to use plus because like this is really, remember,
so -3.
Divided by 2, and the other one is going to be 2 plus 5. It's going to be 2 plus 5 divided by 2. Therefore, the midpoint will have 1 plus -3, it's 1 minus 3, which is -2 divided by 2, which is going to be equal to 1. And for the other one, it's 2 plus 5 equals
-1, no, wouldn't it?
-1, yes, correct.
Okay.
And for the other one, 2 plus 5 is 7 divided by
2.
2. At the end of the day, you end up to have -1, -1, and 7 over 2 for the value of the midpoint. Okay? All right, so now let's focus on the problem number 11. So if I look at the problem number 11, you have, the question is, find the other endpoint if one endpoint P and the midpoint M is given. So you have the midpoint M, which is 7 and 4. Can you follow what I'm writing? And you have one endpoint, which is 2, 8. Okay, and basically they're telling you, hey, if you have another endpoint which is coordinate x and y, okay, What is the coordinate of x and y? Well, you know that the midpoint, if you have a point 1 and a point 2, that the formula is supposed to be x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. In your case, let's call P the point number 1 and the point Q the point number 2. So, in this case, I can really write basically that my endpoint M is corresponding to 2 plus x over 2 and y, and 8 plus y over 2. Do you agree? Okay? If you have a point 1 and a point 2, you're supposed to have that. Your point 1 is P, your point 2 is Q. Okay? You following? Now, they are telling you that the midpoint has 4 coordinates, 7 and 4. What does that mean? It means that this is equal to 7 and this is equal to 4. So, because it's equal to 7, now it's pretty easy to say that 7 equal 2 plus x divided by 2. And then you're going to have 8 plus, and then you're going to have 4 equal 8 plus y divided by 2. If you want to get access to the x and the y standing by itself alone, because this is what you are looking for, you're looking for the value of x and y, what you are going to do is you're going to multiply by 2 both sides. Like this, you can get rid of these 2. You are going to multiply by 2 also this one. Like this, you can get rid of the 2 on the denominator. Therefore, you end up to have now 14 equal 2 plus x. And on the other side, you got 8 equal 8 plus y. Now, if you want to have access to the x and the y standing by itself, you subtract the 2 alone, you subtract both sides, you subtract the 8 both sides, and now you end up to have x and y by himself. First, x equal 12, and second, y equals 0. Therefore, now you know that with your endpoint, the point that you name Q has for coordinate 12, 0. We good? All right.